Hello. Doulton and Company, based in Lambeth, London, led the way in art pottery, setting up a craft studio in 1866, recruiting artists mainly from Lambeth School of Art, which had been established initially as a night school in 1854, and of which Henry Doulton was a supporter. Doulton's leading artist from 1867 until his death in 1913 was George Tinworth, who produced small-scale Doulton-ware ceramics, including flagons, vases and animal figures, for which he is best known today. But his main output was of large, sculptural, dramatic terracotta pieces that made his name in the 1870s and 80s, before going out of fashion by the turn of the 20th century. This panel, entitled The City of Refuge, now in the collection of the Victoria Art Gallery, Bath, was created for Wraysbury Baptist Chapel in Berkshire. This lunette occupies the tympanum above the entrance of South Bank House, part of the former Doulton Works complex on the corner of Black Prince Road and Lambeth High Street. It shows Sir Henry Doulton and George Tinworth alongside other artists of the Lambeth Art Studio, including Hannah Barlow, the first female artist designer recruited at Doulton's, seen here decorating a vase with her cat sitting beneath her stool. Hannah was a graduate of Lambeth School of Art. Her sisters Florence and Lucy and her brother Arthur also joined Doulton's. Their work can be identified by initials on the back stamp. This 1874 incised vase with animal decoration, now in the Victoria and Albert Museum, is typical of Hannah Barlow's work. This Doulton flask was a joint effort by Hannah and Arthur. Burmantofts, as the pottery was popularly known from its location in that district of Leeds, began making building materials, including ceramic pipes, in 1859. Following the example of Doulton's, they added art pottery to their output in 1880. The company closed in 1957. A collection of Burmantofts pottery can be seen in Leeds Museum. Small independent art potteries emerged, inspired by the arts and crafts movement. Among the most prominent, although short-lived, was Della Robbia, named after 15th century Florentine sculptor Luca della Robbia, whose family workshop was known for colourful glazed terracotta statues. Della Robbia pottery was founded in Birkenhead in 1894 by artist and designer Harold Rathbone, a former pupil of Ford Madox Brown, and sculptor Conrad Dressler. Their aim was to produce art ceramics at affordable prices. The firm specialised in sgraffito, a demanding technique in which a layer, or sometimes several layers of contrasting coloured slip, are applied to a pot and the outer coating incised to reveal the layers beneath before firing. Della Robbia wares were sold locally in their own Merseyside retail outlet and also at Liberty of London, but rising costs and changing tastes led to the firm closing in 1906. The Williamson Art Gallery in Birkenhead has an extensive collection. Ruskin pottery began as Birmingham Tile and Pottery Works in 1898 in Smethwick in the West Midlands, founded by Edward Taylor, the principal at Birmingham School of Art, with his son William Howson Taylor. It was renamed in honour of John Ruskin in 1904. Focusing on glazes, as well as pieces thrown in the workshop, blanks were brought in for decoration, individual items often receiving several firings to achieve the desired result. Particularly popular were iridescent flambe finishes, deep plums and a rich dark red known as sang de boeuf, a technique using copper oxide originating in late 17th century China. Ruskin pottery were awarded prizes at several prestigious international exhibitions. A small workforce was sworn to secrecy about how the various finishes were achieved. Experimental glazes, high firing and controlled oxygen in the kiln were all involved. Ruskin pottery was expensive and sales suffered during the economic depression of the late 1920s and early 1930s. The company ceased production in 1933, and when Howson Taylor died in 1935, All the firm's documentation, including instructions for the various glazing methods and processes, were destroyed. Wednesbury Museum and Art Gallery and Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery both house major collections of Ruskin pottery. Bretby art pottery was established by interior decorator Henry Tooth in 1882 in North East England, initially with a partner, Henry Hort. Officially Tooth and Company from 1887, but when the firm relocated to South Derbyshire, widely known as Bretby art pottery after a local village. Tooth had been encouraged to take up pottery by innovative designer Christopher Dresser. The company trademark was a sunburst. Much early work was characterised by strong colours, swirling glazes, adventurous lines and oriental influences. The company survived changing times and fashions, but was struggling when a workshop fire put an end to the business in 1997. Architect-designer Alfred Hoare Powell began designing individual items for Josiah Wedgwood and Sons in 1903. In 1926, he and his artist wife, Louise, set up a craft studio at Wedgwood's Etruria works in Stoke-on-Trent and recruited girls from local art schools to train in freehand pottery decoration under the supervision of Millie Taplin, an employee at Wedgwood's trained by the Powells. 22-year-old Della Wedgwood, sixth generation of the famous family of potters, who went on to create designs including for the Queensware range, was among the first trainees. Next time, the art metalwork of William Arthur Smith Benson. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.